questions I get asked all the time is, what is it really like living day to day in another country? Not the top 10 destinations or not a look into what your best days are, but what does everyday life look like? The grocery shopping, the chores, the little surprises that come up, the things that you didn't know that that's how things work in that particular country. Those are the things that are really fun to talk about, and I think a lot of people are curious. So today I'm doing something a little different. Instead of me talking about what we're doing here in Bolivia, I've reached out to Wendy, an American who lives full-time, is a resident of the Netherlands. She has a YouTube channel and is a wealth of information. We're going to talk to her today about what normal everyday life is like living in the Netherlands. She's going to help us set some expectations, get a realistic view of what it's like, and even share some tips and tricks and a few surprises. No hype, no talk about tours, just real life and real lived experiences. Come along. I just want to say thank you, Wendy, for being here today. I'm so excited to talk with you. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself, where people can find you on YouTube? Give us a little rundown of where you are. And I don't know, I'm really curious. How did you end up in the Netherlands, or how did you choose the Netherlands? How did that come to be?
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me over, Lisa. I'm really excited about talking to you as well as your viewers. So my name is Wendy. I am a U.S. citizen, but I'm a Dutch resident, which makes me an immigrant. And I've been in Europe now. This is my 12th year that I'm
Oh,
in right now in 2026. So I came over from the United States to Germany, actually. And it was because my company asked me to come over for a 1 year assignment. And things went well. And my German managing director actually offered me a permanent contract. And I continued to work there for another 3 years. So I ended up spending 4 years in Germany. And then I was recruited by a Dutch company to come to the Netherlands. Now, I've been to the Netherlands many, 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 many times. It's actually my husband's favorite country in the world. Um, so it was quite an easy decision for us to move. What a lot of people don't know is technically I'm half German, but I always think of myself as 100% an American mindset, the
yeah.
US in particular, because that's where I was born and raised. But it was nice to live in Germany to actually understand some of the things that I heard my father say, but I didn't quite understand because he died when I was 17. So I didn't sit around saying, "So you're German. Tell me what's that like?"
Yeah,
He's
right.
just a father. And when I moved to Germany, it was like, oh, this is what this means, and that's what that means. And when we were moving to the Netherlands, people were saying, "Oh, it's going to be just like Germany." No, it's not. No, it's not. It's completely different in a good way. My channel is Enjoying the Journey, and you can find me at YouTube at enjoying underscore the underscore journey. I've been on YouTube now for a couple of years. I took started taking it seriously about a year ago, and I've just done a slight pivot. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that's me, how I got here, and I think I answered all the questions.
I think so. Can you tell us what city you're in?
Yeah, I am in Den Haag, which in English is The Hague. So it is the third largest city in the Netherlands, and it's also our seat of government. So this is where you find all the embassies.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think a lot of people have heard of that and may or may not know exactly what to think about it or what's there, but that's interesting. And yeah, it's a place that most people I think have heard of.
Yeah, I think so too. I think most people that travel to the Netherlands are extremely familiar with Amsterdam, the capital city. And for reasons I totally get, it's a beautiful, beautiful city. Next would be the second largest city, which is Rotterdam, which has the
Yep.
largest port here in the Netherlands. So I think those two cities people are extremely familiar with. And The Hague, they understand it from a governmental policy perspective, but not necessarily a place where a lot of people live. There's a Dutch saying that Amsterdam is where you spend your money, Rotterdam is where you make your money, and The Hague is where you live, or maybe in a negative way, sleep, because there's nothing really happening here beyond
Well,
the government stuff. Yeah.
now we know. Now we know the jumps.
Yeah.
All right. If you could tell us what kind of a daily walkthrough of your life looks like, kind of a weekday, normal day. What do you do? Where do you go? How is it different than what most US people might think of?
Yeah, I know a lot of people when they're watching videos on YouTube, people are talking about, oh, my life is so different. Now that I live in another country, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of still doing the same thing. It's a lot of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, take
Yeah.
the garbage out, go recycle, go to work, go to the supermarket. So it's a lot of normal, everyday things that people do all around the world. I would say for me, what's a little bit different than what I had in the US is I actually go to bed a little bit earlier. Now I'm a night owl. That's just how my body functions. But I'm a night owl, but I still go to bed a little bit early because we eat dinner around 7 p.m., which is
Hmm.
a complete shift from how I did things in the US. So I wouldn't make it home from work to about 7 p.m. But
Oh.
here, things are a little more scheduled, I would say. So
Hmm.
I get up in the morning. I actually can take the bus to the train station
Hmm.
and take the train station to work, or if I have to, physically go into the office on a day and go to work. Work is normal like everybody else. For me, lunch usually is leftovers.
Yeah.
Um, in the canteen, we have canteens in some offices here in the Netherlands, and it's usually like a sandwich and a soup, something like that. And then you get off work and you walk back to the train station to come back home. I read a book, I listen to podcasts, I look out the window and daydream. It's for me, it's kind of almost like a decompression
Yeah.
change
Okay.
to be on the bus and the train. And and then I come home. My husband and I share cooking duties. So some days I cook, some days he cooked. And for us, dinner, like I said, is around 6:30, 7 o'clock. And we will take a little short walk or
Hmm.
just talk. It's nothing special. It's just, I would say it's just a little bit more relaxed than I
Oh,
was in the US.
okay.
Yeah.
I get that. And working on a little cliche, do you have a bike and do you use it?
I do. I have a bike. My husband has two, which is more Dutch than me. Um, I usually ride my bike spring and summer and maybe early fall. I am a complete wuss. I will not ride my bike on snow and ice. I just,
Oh.
nope, I'm not trying to fall. I am not one of these people that I am so impressed with, especially older Dutch people, the way they get on the bike, they put one foot on the pedal and then they use the other foot to kind of pick up momentum and then they throw that other leg across there. And I'm going, yeah, I would just fall and bust my butt. So I ride like a little 5-year-old, put my feet on there and then I'm just paddling. But we use our bikes to go to the supermarket, to our doctor's office, dentist appointments, to see friends, go to the beach. I mean, we don't own a car. So you're
Okay.
either walk, take the bike, or take public transportation. My
Yeah.
husband owns a motorcycle, but he won't let me drive it because apparently you're not supposed to ride into walls or people. So um
Well,
no,
that's a real stick in the mud.
no, he's such a stickler. But yeah, I own a bike and he has two. So he has one of those foldable bikes.
Yeah, okay.
In the wintertime, he doesn't ride his motorcycle from December to March just because of the insurance. And he can walk to the bus, put his bike, kind of on his shoulder. And then when he gets off, he can unfold the bike and then go on to work.
Wow. All right. Good for him. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of a shift from I think most
Mm.
US people. I don't know if they maybe hardcore bicycle enthusiasts, but I think a lot of us wouldn't um it would seem too hard or would seem too messy or something. When we
Yeah.
were in Denmark, which I always, I guess in my mind, I think of Netherlands, number one bike, and Denmark, I think comes in a close second, at least for me. I thought the accommodations that they make for biking was phenomenal. I mean, there were bike stop and go lights, there were bike lanes which cars couldn't get into. There was
Yeah.
always bike parking and bikes with the big wagon on the front. Like you put
Yep.
your kid or your cargo
Yep.
or whatever in there. I'm assuming Netherlands is the same or similar?
Absolutely. That big cargo box that you see on the front, that particular bike is called a bakfiets. So it's like a box
Yeah.
with the bike
Okay.
because fiets means bike. So it's a bakfiets, and it's so funny that you will see, especially on weekends, husband and wives on there because they're going out for a date. So the wife is sitting in the box, and the husband is paddling along. I've seen people go and pick up, a washer or a dryer instead of having it delivered and put it in there. They're Christmas trees. So, yeah, here in the Netherlands, we have infrastructure that is dedicated to bikes. We can go all over the country on our bikes, even the combination of public transportation. They make it so easy for you
Yes,
to get into where you need, get on your bike and just go. So I love it.
that's awesome. I'm not a particularly good bike rider, but I think if I lived in the Netherlands or Denmark, I would get much better because it's not as scary being mixed
Absolutely.
in with traffic. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that we started biking when we lived in Germany.
okay.
Um, and we had became part of a bike club, so we would kind of ride along with them. In Germany, you wear your helmet. Here in the Netherlands, not so often people wear helmets. But I would have to say, don't kill me, German viewers, but I think the Dutch has a much better bike infrastructure
Oh,
than you find in Germany because there are a lot of times where, especially in the smaller cities, where the bike and the cars are sharing the
together.
road. And in the Netherlands, it is very segregated of how, you have your public transportation, then you have your cars, then you have your bikes, and then you have your pedestrians. And the speed limit is based upon what's happening on that
Okay.
street. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, good
They
to
have it
know.
down to a science.
Yeah, they perfected it.
For sure. For sure.
I think in the US we have this very common idea or perception that Western Europe is very expensive. Like, I don't know, whatever we think our standard of living is, I'm from the Midwest. Whatever your norm is, you think that Western Europe is going to be outrageously expensive.
Right.
Is that kind of what you thought? And then what did you find to be actually true? And not really looking for numbers, but like what would you say to somebody who said to you, "Oh my gosh, isn't the Netherlands really, really expensive?"
Yeah, I would say that my first trip to Europe decades ago, I thought that it was going to be super expensive just to come here and travel. So I was saving up for months and months and months and months and months. And what I realized is you can make it as expensive or as less expensive as you want. Now, I'm going to just be extremely honest with your viewers. The Netherlands is a wealthy country. I think it's the 10th or 11th wealthiest country in the world. And remember, this is a very small country.
Yeah,
Um, but we can make it as expensive or as economical as you want. Like, for example, my husband and I very seldom go out to dinner.
right.
Um, we like to cook, we like to be at home, so we save money there. But we love to travel. So we don't mind getting on a bus or getting on a train to go where we are, go where we want to go. And that is expensive. I would say that the Netherlands is there are buckets where you see a higher cost, and probably it's like this all over the world. The cost of having a home, whether you're renting or you're buying, that's our biggest expense, at least in my Netherlands. That's my biggest expense. But the thing that really shocked me about the Netherlands and also Western Europe, it is cheaper to eat well than it is to eat crappy food. When
Oh,
I lived in the United States, it was cheaper to eat crappy food at the beginning. Of course, at the end, you get all kind of bad side effects, weight
yeah.
gain, disease, what have you. But here in the Netherlands, but also in Germany, in France, in Belgium, you can eat well and it's cheaper than what you would have thought buying all of
Mm,
this fast food and chips and candy and all of that stuff. But that really surprised me. The other thing that surprised me was the accessibility to everything. So, like I was saying about the bikes or, walking or taking public transportation, you don't have to own a car if you don't want to. Now, if you live in the Netherlands and you work in Belgium, maybe you want a car
yeah.
because you can go across the border, blah, 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 blah. When I lived in Germany, I had a car. My home was an hour drive on the
Oh,
Autobahn.
oh,
Um, so I needed a car. And Germany is much bigger than the Netherlands. But in my Netherlands, I found that I don't need a car.
right.
So that expense goes away. I don't have the insurance. I don't have the upkeep. So it's
Mm-hmm.
another way of bringing the costs down
Mm-hmm.
for insurance. Our insurance here in my US head is a very good value compared to what I was paying in the United States. I pay about 150 euros a month for insurance.
Oh my goodness.
And it covers everything. And we have what's called own risk. So I have to pay 385 euros a year
Mm-hmm.
out of my own pocket before, everything starts kicking in. So for me, being a US citizen coming from America, this is very good. And I have a very good GP, so I'm very happy
All right.
with that. Yeah, it really depends on what's important to you. You can make it super expensive,
Yeah.
but if you're willing to trade things off, and let's be honest, everything in life is a trade-off,
Right.
you can figure out how to live within the income that you have. But again, like most places around the world, the Netherlands, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it is expensive. It's not a cheap country at all.
Right. Right. Yeah, I really appreciate that and I like it. I think kind of a thought is don't don't be afraid of it because you can level into something. Instead of going out to eat, yeah, grab something to make a sandwich and go have a picnic in your favorite little park and enjoy that instead of enjoying a $300 meal or whatever the number is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the way I like to do it, especially when I'm traveling all over the world, is I tend to pick one meal that will be kind of a casual, like you said, go to the supermarket, go to street food, what have you, and then go have one meal at the restaurant if you're traveling. For my husband and I, maybe a birthday or an anniversary, we will spend money at a nice restaurant to go out and have that experience. But that's not a everyday thing for us
Right.
because we just don't need it.
Right. Yep. I get that. I get that. I appreciate that. And I think we live the same idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm blown away by the health insurance. When I left, when we left the United States and I left my job for two of us with the employer support was 800 and something a month.
Yeah.
And now I think with the changes that are going on, I think, like my friends are saying,
they're paying 6, 7, 800 each per month.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. My husband and I, when we were in the US, paid about 700 a month, and our children were on our insurance because you could do it up until I think they were 27
yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that. So we paid about 800 a month. So every couple of weeks it was like, 400 and something that came out of our payroll. Plus we still had
right.
co-pays and the price difference between like a GP and a specialist. If I wanted dental, if I
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
physical therapy, a psychiatrist, therapy, mental therapy, I don't know what the
Yeah,
correct word,
yeah,
sociology, what have you. It was an extra fee. Here in the Netherlands, my insurance covers my medical. I also can go and see a therapist. So
yeah,
psychiatrist. Um, I can add in additional time for a physiotherapy, and I can't remember the amount, but maybe it's like 5, 10 euros extra.
wow.
And I can add in dental if I think I'm gonna need a lot of dental work or what have you. I can add it in for that year and take it off.
No,
Yeah, the next year. Um, yeah, I went the other day. I wear glasses and I went to the optometrist just to have an eye check because I don't even put this on my insurance. It's 30 euros for an eye exam. But
hmm,
if you buy your glasses there, the eye exam is free and the price of the glasses goes from like 50 euros to 300 euros.
yeah,
I remember in America, I was paying like $1,000 for glasses
yeah,
and we have warranties here. I mean, it's so different, like if you go and buy a phone for a certain period of time, it's covered under a warranty. You'll have to buy an extra warranty.
right,
So it's very different. I know a lot of people say about the Netherlands, the taxes, especially in Northern European countries, people complain about the taxes.
right.
And I'm not gonna lie, yes, the taxes are high. But it's a tiered level
Okay,
of 49.6% is our tax rate. And but what you get out of that, I personally think makes up for when I think about what I was paying in the United States and what I wasn't
right,
for
right.
that, so I'm more than happy to pay my taxes here. I don't moan and complain about the taxes. It's just a natural part of life, and I get to live a good life. And you're talking about bicycles, those taxes help pay for those roads where I can ride and not, hit a pothole and flip over and
Yeah.
crack my head open. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. All right, let's try a little lightning round.
Okay.
So, what is your favorite Dutch food?
Ooh, oliebollen, hands down.
What is it?
Oliebollen. It's something that we usually get in the wintertime, closer to the holidays, and
Okay.
it is fried dough with powdered sugar, and then they have all variation. That's just like the most original one, but you can get it with cherries, with apple, with chocolate, with so many kind of different toppings, and usually depending on the oliebollen stand that you go to in the city, they will have different variations. I think of it if your viewers are aware of the vignette that you get in New Orleans.
Okay.
The, yeah, it's sort of like that, but I think better. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but I like the oliebollen. A lot of people talk about the Dutch cuisine and saying what it's not, but I always say hands down the Dutch have the best snacks in the world. So for me, oliebollen, second would be an eierball. I love the eierball. It's a fried egg
Oh,
with ragu sauce in it. And you typically get it in the northern part of the Netherlands in the province of Groningen.
okay.
So yeah,
Sounds
that's
delicious. I can't wait to try
it.
that if I Okay, what is a Dutch habit that you've embraced?
Um, Eating earlier,
Okay,
I feel a lot better physically eating
yeah,
earlier. Yeah.
okay. I think this one is really difficult, but what is the most beautiful place you visited in the Netherlands?
Ooh,
I hate
that,
picking things like that when people ask me. It's different things have different reasons of why you
yeah,
love them and why you enjoy it. But
exactly. Yeah, I can't, honestly, I'm not trying to get out of answering the question. I can't think of the most, personally, I think where I live is the most beautiful. Okay. I just put it out there. I'm biased. I'm here on the coast of Den Haag. The motto of the city is the city, the beach, Den Haag, or something like that. That's the
yeah,
variation. So the beach is, we have a beautiful coastline here. And the area where the beach is called Scheveningen. I can't pronounce that the right Dutch way.
sounded good to me.
I just say Scheveningen. And I just think this part of the country is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Scheveningen. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. What's the best free things to, what's the best free thing to do?
Walk. walk, walk, walk the cities in the Netherlands, take it all in. I mean, it's beautiful architecture, amazing history here. Talk to people. Like that's free and it's amazing what you'll learn and what you see. So yeah, walk,
Walk.
definitely.
And you find that when you're walking, you can control the pace. If you're on a bus and you see something cool, yeah, I mean, you can get off and come back to it. But if you're walking and you see somebody walking their dog and you have a little chit chat, or you see a little cafe that I never saw that before, it slows everything down and you can kind of open up to being more in the moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just think when you walk a city, it gives you a different perspective
Hmm.
than if you're on a bike or if you're on a bus or a tram or train or something like that. I just love to walk because I've lived here in the Netherlands, in this part of the Netherlands now for 4 years, in
Hmm.
the country as a whole for 7. There are still things I see on my daily walk that I take. I'm going, how did I miss that?
Was that
So
always there?
yeah, exactly. And it says on the building, like, been here since 1600. I'm like, how did I not see that before? So yeah, definitely walk.
That's awesome. That's fun. What do you think is one thing Americans or US citizens don't understand about the Netherlands?
Um, I think they don't understand the impact that the country of the Netherlands has had on the world in its totality. Like I said, the Netherlands is a very small country. I think it's about the size of West Virginia, just to give
Oh,
you some
wow.
perspective. So it's not a very big country. I always say this country punches above its weight.
Yeah.
It is, like I said earlier in the video, I believe it's like the 10th wealthiest country in the world, but it's also like number 3 for maybe it's number 2 or 3 for exporting food. For such a small country, they export a lot of food. If you have flowers on your table at home, they probably come from the Netherlands. If you enjoy things like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, that was discovered here in the Netherlands. I mean, it's just going to, and I told you I needed to go to an optometrist. That eye chart that you read, that was invented by a Dutchman. So
Wow.
I always think that people don't realize the impact that this country it has had and is continuing to have on their daily lives. The other thing I would say that maybe people misunderstand, not necessarily about the Netherlands, but about the culture. You
Okay.
always say that the Dutch are very direct. And that's true. They are very direct. They are people that want to be efficient. but the directness comes out of honesty, is what I found. So they don't just talk around a situation. This is how it is, and now let's just talk about it. So
Yeah.
it's built out of honesty, and I think that's the one thing that, especially as a U.S. citizen, you have to kind of get used to.
Hmm.
Um, it's not that circling
Hmm.
around to say what you want to say. Just say it, and they're much more appreciative. And I also think the language plays a part in the directness because when you speak Dutch, you don't
Hmm.
circle.
Hmm.
It's very direct. So yeah, that's what I think people
But do you
want.
think, like with Dutch and maybe other countries in Europe, that directness doesn't come with like a fight or a judgment behind it? It's seems more like this is my opinion, this is how I see it, and they're very, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, they're open to understanding and seeing your point of view, not necessarily that they'll change, but there's not a fight behind it. There's not a I need to convince you. I
Yeah.
think that's a shift, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you because you will find this in the German culture. You would also find it in some of the Nordic cultures, is that it's not an aggressive directness. Is not meant to be in your face and like, I am right and you are wrong.
Yeah.
It's more about opening up the conversation and saying, this is what I believe. And as you talk, you will hear them kind of go, okay, I can see your point of view. I
Hmm.
may not still agree with it, but I can see how you could think that. And it makes it easier. Like there were certain topics I would never talk about, especially in the workplace. When I lived and worked in the United States, I would never talk about religion, politics, those were just off the table.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, we have conversations about it, and I don't feel threatened
Yeah.
at when I'm having those because it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Good. Yeah. I like that. Um, you talking about Dutch words. This is kind of silly, but do you have a favorite Dutch word?
Oh, of course I do. My favorite Dutch word is kijk. I love the word kijk, and I think it's just indicative of who I am. The word kijk means to look.
Oh,
So I'm like, kijk, kijk,
look,
because I'm
look.
constantly looking at things. And yeah, and it's probably a weird word to love. When I first started learning the language, I don't know that word. I just love the word kijk.
All
So
right.
yeah, there you go.
Fair enough. And the one thing that I really want to know is, are Dutch baby pancakes really a thing? And what do you think?
Yes, they are a thing. It's called
Okay.
poffertjes. And I have tried them several times.
Hmm.
I am going to probably offend a lot of people. Not my favorite thing.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, it's not one of those things that I go out of my way to have, but I know a lot of people like them. They're these little, like you said, little tiny pancakes, and they put powdered sugar
Okay.
on top of them and butter.
Yeah.
My husband loves them. When friends and family come to visit, of course, we take them so they can have some, and they love them. I'm just not really a pancake
Yeah.
person. They're okay, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I would pick an oliebollen over it.
Noted. Noted. Oh, Wendy, thank you so much for being here. This has been an absolute blast, and I'm looking forward to more of your content. And I just have had a ball, and I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And hey, I would love to one day interview you because you are doing what I hope to do in a few years, and that's slow travel. So maybe I can have you on my channel.
Wow, 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 did I learn a ton. Isn't Wendy the best? She's so informative, down to earth, and just gives you the information. No sugarcoating, no spin. She just lets you know exactly what things are like living full-time in the Netherlands. I could have talked to her for another hour easily. I'm sure you enjoyed it too. And if you want to see more of her content, I'm going to link her YouTube channel below, and you can check out more of what she has to say and what she has to offer you. And if you're wondering what daily life looks like while you're living in another country, that's exactly what we do here. So we'll be sure and stop by again and see more of what we have to offer, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.